When you save like I do, people will talk.
Wow, fancy.
Uh-huh. I fancy a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Even the trays have trays.
Well, she is the hostess with the mostest.
Who spends the leastest.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Lister in for Frank Buckley. An arrest made in connection with the shooting of 3 college students of Palestinian descent. That suspect expected to be arraigned today as the FBI continues its investigation.
And I'm Annie Rose Ramos. Hamas releases more hostages, including the first and youngest American, 4-year-old Abigail Edan. But will more hostages be released today? And what will happen once this 4-day ceasefire agreement comes to an end? What President Biden has to say about it, coming up.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Erin Myers here at LAX. Today is the last day of the Thanksgiving holiday travel period here at the airport. Quite a bit of traffic if you're heading in here, but once you get inside, it's not looking too bad here, at least in the Southwest Terminal. I'll have the latest coming up.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Holmes. News you can sink your teeth into. We're going to tell you about the local eatery just named California's top cheeseburger joint, according to
Say, the Renaissance film premiered over the weekend. What's it like? What do the reviews say? We'll tell you about it coming up.
All right, good morning, everybody. Beautiful shots coming in from Long Beach and just about everywhere, all the way across the board. Clear skies. But with those clear skies, we've had some cool temperatures. Warming up nicely today, though. 72 at the beaches. Downtown Los Angeles, 74. It gets cold overnight. 73 in the San Fernando Valley. Inland Empire dropping down to 45 degrees. And then 70 will be the high. High desert only at 40 degrees right now with a high of 60, 75 for Orange County inland. Let's go to Ginger in traffic.
Oh, yes. We have a couple things that we need to make sure you're well aware of. So here's the deal. We have this great camera to show us this 210 freeway. The thing is, there was some discussion about something in lanes, but it doesn't look like that's the case. It's just actually a pretty good ride. I mean, we're not seeing in terms of volume building or anything like that, or even those winds rocking or shaking the camera. So it's actually pretty good. Moving over to look at that 405 north at the 22. So we have this report of a crash with 3 cars. I think there was a motorcyclist involved in this one as well. At 405 is decent, but the 22 is kind of taking a hard hit. And remember, that's where everything funnels onto the 22. And then you can continue to the 405 north, where there were some earlier wrecks not far from Long Beach Airport. So I think that's part of the reason we're seeing delays that extend onto the 22 freeway. We're going to watch and keep our eyes on all of these things for your drive. I'll send it back to you guys.
Ginger, thank you. Today is the 4th and final day of a pause in fighting between Israel and Hamas. Negotiators now hoping for a deal that would set more hostages free. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in the newsroom with all the details. Annie Rose.
Hey, Lauren, good morning to you. Well, we are expecting another round of hostages to be set free today. We want to go to a live image from the West Bank. Multiple sources now reporting in the last hour there is a delay with today's hostage release. Reportedly, over the list of names in this 4th and final group, Israel and the terrorist group Hamas disagreeing on who should be on those lists. This live image is of the prison where some of the Palestinian prisoners have been released from in the past couple of days. As you can see right now, no one is going in or coming out at this time. Yesterday, the terrorist group Hamas released 17 hostages, including the first and youngest American, 4-year-old Abigail Edan, part of this fragile 4-day ceasefire agreement that ends today and may be extended. On Sunday, a 3rd round of hostages was freed, first into the hands of the Red Cross. You can see the caravan of cars many of those hostages were riding in, making their way back into Israel after being held captive for 7 weeks. Among the group, 3 Thai nationals, 1 Russian, and 1 American.
The physical condition of the children and the mothers that came to us is now stable. They're undergoing a medical and emotional evaluation.
Abigail Edan was 3 years old when she was abducted. She is now 4.
Don't worry about it, and it's very important to let her be now with the family.
And in this ceasefire agreement brokered by Qatar and helped along by the U.S. and Egypt, Hamas agreed to release a total of 50 hostages. They've now released 58 as of this morning, and Israel agreed to free 160 Palestinian prisoners. So far, they've released 117, all women and teenage boys, some of whom you're looking at right there. But that 4-day truce ends today. Many asking what
day-by-day approach, hour-by-hour process. Nothing is guaranteed, and nothing is being taken for granted.
And new images into our newsroom this morning show the Rafah border between Egypt and Gaza. You can see trucks lined up and getting through there. This 4-day ceasefire is a desperately needed opportunity for about 150 aid trucks so far to get into northern Gaza, delivering food, fuel, water, and much-needed medical supplies. But many inside Gaza are asking, will this aid be enough?
We still have no power, we have no normal water supply, we have a lack of fuel, and I'm not sure, how much the aid that's going to come in is going to plug that gap.
And again, we are expecting that fourth group of hostages to be released at any point today. The White House saying this morning they don't know if the 2 remaining Americans held hostage, both of them women, will be among those in that group. But as of this morning, Israeli officials say there are still 184 people who remain in captivity in Gaza. Jessica?
Annie Rose, we thank you for that this morning. The man arrested in connection with the shooting of 3 college students of Palestinian descent is expected to be arraigned later today. 48-year-old Jason Eaton was taken into custody at his apartment complex, which is near the scene of Saturday night's attack in Burlington, Vermont. Police say they found evidence inside the unit linking Eaton to the crime. All 3 of the shooting victims are expected to survive. 2 of them were wearing traditional Palestinian scarves at the time of the attack. U.S. Attorney's Office says the FBI is still investigating whether the shooting was a hate crime.
Developing news now in Riverside, where a suspect jumped to his death at the end of a pursuit. This happened just before 9 o'clock last night on the northbound 215 south of the 60 interchange. Riverside police initially tried to stop the driver and say he refused. He eventually stopped on the transition to the westbound 91. Witnesses say he got out of the vehicle and jumped off the overpass. He died at the scene. It is unclear why police tried to pull him over.
One person was killed, has been killed after being struck on the 101 freeway in Woodland Hills. This was early this morning, just before 3 a.m. CHP have reopened and traffic is moving normally on the 101.
LAX not as busy as it was yesterday, but there are still a lot of people at the airport this morning looking to get home after the Thanksgiving break. KTLA's Aaron Myers there live with the story for us. Aaron, I am surprised at how much traffic we're still seeing going into the Horseshoe today.
Hi, Lauren. Good morning. You know what? I'll tell you, there is a lot of traffic getting into the airport, but once we parked and went and walked into the terminals, I went into Terminal 2, and we're here in Terminal 1. It's actually not too bad. I mean, there are definitely passengers in here, but not long lines once you get inside. And I want to bring in Brandon. He's heading to Austin. He originally is from LA. You moved out to Austin, and then you came back for the holiday to see family and friends. Let's talk travel first. What was your travel like coming here and then today?
Coming here was surprisingly easy. Yeah, I was expecting some really bad traffic at Austin, but it just didn't materialize. They had the stanchions out. They were ready for the long lines. I literally walked through security. Couldn't have been easier.
So Austin is doing it right. What about once you got here at LAX?
Once I got here, you know, it was easy. Just hopped on the Van Nuys flyaway. That's how I get down to the valley. So that's working every time.
They always recommend the flyaway. So smart. When I lived in that area, I used to take it all the time too. Now tell me a little bit about today. It's not too bad except for the traffic, it seems like.
Yeah, coming up the 405, especially before the hill, it was a little bit dense, but then once that cleared, it was easy coming right in, and it seems to be a pretty relaxed day here, despite it being the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's not too bad, at least inside the terminals that we've been into. Now I have to ask you, how was Thanksgiving? How was your holiday, getting to see family and friends that you may have not seen for a little bit?
It was really good. You know, I don't often make vacations out of travel. I travel a lot for work. I'm a professional wrestler and producer, so I'm always on the road flying to one city or another. But this was a actual vacation, and it was a nice Thanksgiving. It was great to see everybody.
Do you guys have any kind of Thanksgiving rituals that you guys follow, or what do you do on Thanksgiving?
Well, I almost always go with my in-laws on the day of Thanksgiving, but after is just for my mom and I, and we just sack out in front of the TV and chill. It's great.
I love it. Now I have to ask you about this. You talked about wrestling. Tell us a little bit about this, because I loved his sports suit when I saw him coming in, so I asked him about this. Fill us in.
Well, I work for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it's obviously a very large company based in Japan, but I helped them establish a base here in Carson about 6 years ago, and we're going strong.
And you wrestle too, is that what I just heard you said? You said wrestler and, producer.
That's absolutely correct. I'm a producer for New Japan, but I wrestle for a lot of independent companies, so I'm traveling all over the country.
Oh, that is so amazing. Where's your next trip for when you're actually wrestling?
Let's see, probably San Antonio coming up here. I try to keep it local, you know.
And how did you get into this? That's so cool.
Well, about 2009, coming up on 15 years-ish, I wanted to become a professional wrestler, sought out a place that would teach me in Van Nuys, and pretty much that started my journey, and I've been all over the country and the world from there.
Oh my goodness, you've made an awesome career out of this. That is so cool. Thank you for talking to us, Brandon. Have a safe trip, and great luck with your wrestling career. And if you guys are heading to LAX, I am going to let you know it's not looking too bad once you get inside, at least here in Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. But if you are going to be driving in, give yourself a little extra time because the traffic is still not so good. Reporting live here at LAX, I'm Erin Myers. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Here we are. I'm going to sing, actually, the national anthem. I'm going to sing the national anthem.
Look at Ginger there. Last night was the 91st Hollywood Christmas Parade. Our very own Ginger Chan in attendance. Thousands of people lined the parade route through the streets of Hollywood. Celebrities, bands, and floats passed by. American war hero Colonel Paris D. Davis served as the Grand Marshal of the parade. The celebration always ends with an appearance, of course, by Santa Claus and his reindeer.
A favorite thing for us to do. I've been bringing my daughter here since she was about 8 years old. I started, and now she's 38, and now I'm bringing my grandchildren with me, and we've been here all these years.
If you missed it, the parade will air right here on KTLA on Friday, December 15th. Wait a minute, Ginger. Is that Ryder standing between mom and dad there? Get out of here.
I know, taller than me. There's Mark and
Look
Eric
at
Estrada.
Mark.
But yeah, look, if he could be as tall as Greg Robinson, that would be amazing.
Look at him.
And I'm wearing heels.
Aww.
So there
Did you guys
go.
have fun?
It was a great time. You know, I have to admit there were some slight glitches here and there. And at the end of the day, the best part of it, and there were a lot of amazing things, obviously meeting all these great people like Dean Cain. There was In-N-Out Burger for us. There was a lot of wonderful things, but the fans, the KTLA fans, you guys, and we were talking about this earlier, Lauren, right?
Yeah.
They are really the best. And some people have been camped out there for 5 hours. Can you believe? All the way down Hollywood Boulevard, down Vine Street, coming up Sunset. And our photographer, Ken Kohler, said it was one of the largest crowds that he had seen. And those people were just amazing. So I was very grateful to be able to wish them a Merry Christmas. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. And Mark, you'll love this. The weather held up.
Yeah. Held up perfectly.
The weather was perfect. And yeah, our fans, our viewers are really the best. The best.
They really are.
Yeah, so yes, all the kids,
now,
best time.
traffic by Spectrum.
I got home super late. I'm going to admit that much to you. But the fans were out there and they were up late. They had to go to work and school, so we're all here. So here's the deal, guys. We actually have some stuff. No closures related to the Hollywood Christmas Parade, so that's some good news. But this 405 freeway, and we heard the guy talking, right? Yeah, you know, the flyways definitely one way to go, the Van Nuys Flyway. But in this case, at 405 North, so you're leaving LAX, heading into the Sepulveda Pass, northbound side at Wilshire Boulevard, that crash is sitting in the right lane. 3 cars jamming up the right here, jamming up the right on that 10 freeway. Santa Monica Boulevard's starting to fill in as well, it looks like. This is the 210, so the west is busy, but heading east, little crowded right about Irwindale Avenue because somebody may have gone too fast, smashed into the guardrail. And then we'll take you into Orange County. Oh my goodness, look at that 405. You can understand why they're adding those fast track lanes because that is a solid ride. getting all the way over in towards Irvine, and there is nothing in lanes. So our friends who leave areas of, say, Long Beach, heading through Westminster, and then trying to get to work over to Irvine, maybe to John Wayne Airport, a very busy ride. But that 22, the 5 freeway, all of those crammed up. And actually, Orange County has been one of our best counties in terms of incidents. We didn't have a lot happening, just a lot of that slowing. All right, Mark, I'll send it over to you.
I love using the Van Nuys Flyaway. I use it all the time. I've been using it, too, for so long that originally it was just a trailer in the parking lot, you know, where you check in your drop-off, and the parking lot was just a dirt field.
Really?
And it's like, go have at it. Now it's a big, huge, it almost looks like a terminal itself and a big parking structure, but it's just a great way because, you know, once you're on the bus, you don't have to stress or worry. You sit back, put on your earbuds, and relax. 58 at the moment. It's about 3 degrees warmer than it was yesterday at this time of the winds from the northeast.